Yeah.
But finding popping was definitely a nice thing. And then, after that, I became a ballet dancer. So that was really
whoa. Okay,
Hold on. I thought you were telling a joke.
Yeah, I thought it was a joke at first. Wait.
I knew you'd be surprised because you didn't mention it at the beginning. You talked about the breakdancing, but
yeah. Well, okay. Let's talk about the ballet dancing.
Yes,
let's talk about that. How did that get started?
That was a big part of my life.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. So when I was in 8th grade, I was failing all my classes,
mm-hmm.
and then my dance teacher, we did dance 2 periods a day, like 2 hours a week. I mean, or 4 hours a week in junior high school. But we didn't take the dance class. Like my friend Peter and I just stood in the corner and practiced our routines.
Mm-hmm.
She was cool with that. She's like, as long as you're doing something.
Yeah.
So finally, I'm like failing. She said to me, she's like, look, the dance teacher was like, look, why don't you audition for Performing Arts High School, LaGuardia? They accept boys a lot easier. So if you have some sort of talent, you have a chance to get in. Like a girl needs to actually really be skilled,
mm-hmm.
But there's not many guys auditioning for dance there. Yeah. So think about it. So I got this other teacher to choreograph something for me. This flaming gay dude from Walden High School. My mom found him online, not online. I don't think we didn't have internet then, but she found him somehow.
Right.
And he came, he tutored me for like 5 hours, and he choreographed this routine to audition for Performing Arts. And it was like, I thought it was good then, I was really like, wow, this is a cool routine.
Uh-huh.
But like later on, I realized how horrible it was, but it got me in the school.
Okay.
Yeah.
The point is he saw me, he watched me pop and everything. And he saw me doing all these body waves. He's like, that's actually like a jazz move. When you're doing your forward body waves, that's actually a real dance move. So we'll throw 2 of those in the routine, And then he added shaky hands and snap.
And spirit fingers? You mean spirit fingers?
Yeah. I never heard spirit fingers, but yeah, I call them shaky hands. Yeah, so he added all this stuff. So then I get to the high school finally to audition, and I'm totally embarrassing myself in the little ballet class they gave us up front. I didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not getting into school. And then they're like, all right, do your routine. I did it to Shaka Khan, Ain't Nobody.
Oh.
And I started my back facing them. I got my black tights on, my white tight t-shirt, my little baby fat love handles hanging over. I'm in the position, and I start the routine, and all the seniors and juniors would come to the audition to watch the auditioners just to laugh at us.
Mm-hmm.
So they're sitting there, which I ended up doing when I was a junior and senior too. I never made it to senior, but I'll talk about that later.
Yes. Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm doing the shaky hands. Oh, so I'm doing the routine, and I got the shaky hands. I did one leg kick, and then I go to the first body wave, and I look over and I see all the students dying in laughter at me.
Oh Lord.
So I'm like, fuck. And I go to the second body wave, and then there's, and I totally blanked on my routine because I still had like another minute after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like the third body wave. I'm trying to remember the routine, I do like a fourth. And then, so by like the 97th body wave, I was like, yo, this shit ain't working anymore. I got to start doing something else. I body waved around that whole room, And so then I just start popping, and going off, and they just stopped laughing. And then it became like real, like, oh wait, this kid actually dances. And I got in all my agile positions, and they saw like flexible. Afterwards, like, okay, that was weirdly surprising out of nowhere. So they're like, so how are you doing in school? They want to know my academics.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you want to know my average? And they're like, no, are you passing everything? I'm like, oh yeah, of course.
Of course.
I had a 65 in every class.
That's passing.
I didn't lie. Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. Oh, sure pass? Yeah. I thought you just want, So then I got in. Shockingly, I got in, and then that was scary. That first day of dance, I knew nothing. And my first dance teacher was Miss Zimmerman. I was in the beginner ballet. They had 2 levels every year. For modern and ballet. Of course, I was in 1. Junior year, I got moved up to the advanced.
Mm-hmm.
I learned quick. But freshman year, Miss Zimmerman, old Russian lady, and she was in the opening scene in the movie Fame. I don't know if you ever saw that movie Fame.
Yeah, I did.
when Leroy and them were auditioning, and she was the old lady. She's like, more energy, whatever. She had a little part of it. They put real teachers in that movie.
Oh, that's
really?
awesome. I do remember her.
Yeah, and then one of my modern teachers, one of the ones I really didn't get along with, was one of the judges sitting there. And then the acting teacher in Fame, actually, it looks a little like you, was Mr. Moody. He was a real acting teacher at LaGuardia. He was the the teacher at LaGuardia too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyway, so I got in, started ballet, modern and ballet every day. Martha Graham and ballet. I liked ballet more because it's more mathematical.
Oh,
it was more my brain worked better with ballet. Modern was more abstract, but I popped very mathematically too.
Okay.
It wasn't like just improving everything. I was very square, and I wanted to hit like lines and positions.
Very symmetrical.
That's how I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So modern wasn't like that. Modern was just a lot of odd, and my body was good for ballet, which is rare because a lot of people don't have the right body for ballet. I had the turnout, the flexibility, the line for ballet. So that inspired me too, And by junior year, I got moved up to advanced, and then I went to audition for School of American Ballet, which is called SAB. It's like the best ballet school, not to brag, but it's the best ballet school in the States, really.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's another one nowadays. People argue that better, but that was like the Harvard of ballet school for kids, It's a school for New York City Ballet. It's at Lincoln Center. Wow. It was in the Juilliard building. And so I auditioned, and I remember my friend telling me that he went to SAB when he was younger, but he got kicked out or something. But he's like, you're not going to get in. Like, don't be sad when you don't get in. Like, no one really gets in there. I went to audition during lunch break. Performing arts, and that's not a high school, that's just an after school. That was just a separate school, just ballet.
Yeah.
So I would take class after school, extra class.
Okay.
So yeah, I auditioned, and everyone was sure I wasn't going to get in. And then there was a new head of the school, Mr. Robert Lindgren, I think was his name, and he accepted me. Right after the audition, he said, "So when you're going to start Monday?" I'm like, "I'm in." He's like, "Yeah," So I was like, wow. I'm so happy to go back to LaGuardia. I walked in with a sad face too.
Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah, I told you, bro." I'm like, "What did you tell me?" He said, "I told you what." I said, "No, I got in. He was so jealous and like angry at me for a minute, maybe forever.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
But then, I got in and I started going there, and I got injured 2 weeks later.
Oh, wow.
These two guys were fighting in the locker room. And they had this huge wood bench, like a 60-pound bench, and it wasn't like screwed into the floor well. And they fell over and it slammed on my toe, broke my toe.
Oh, man.
Like, worst pain. It was like 24 hours when you really stub your toe.
Yeah.
Without going away. That immediate feeling.
Throb. Throbbing.
Yeah, I'm really stupid. I should have sued the high school. Parents should have sued them.
That's a good point.
It wasn't screwed in the floor.
Yeah. It should have been.
That should have been. I should have had $100,000 from that. But anyway. Yeah. So yeah. So I broke my toe, but I got better after 2 weeks, and then I started SAB for like a year and a half. I got another injury, had to quit. But I dropped out of high school. I was in SAB, and I got a big argument with the dance teachers and everything because I was failing my classes again. I started cutting class. I was going to ballet all the time.
Yeah.
I was failing my academics.
Okay.
Like usual. I didn't go. I cut. My friend Simi and I were cutting left and right, and hiding in the bath and whatever, smoking weed with the security guard at the high school.
Don't you love the public school security guards?
Yeah,
man. All you have to do is bring them lunch, and you can do anything you want.
Yeah, or bring them a nickel bag, right?
That's
or a
it.
nickel bag.
Yep, that was it. They'll be happy with that.
That's hilarious. Okay.
Yeah. So and I ended up dropping out because I got, they brought me in a big meeting with my mom. It was supposed to be just like the head of the dance department, the gray guy, to my mom. But then we show up, it's like two dance teachers, head of dance department, the gray guy, the grade advisor, the principal. Wow. It was like they surrounded me like almost it was like mental bullying almost. Like they really like just sitting around me, and I couldn't talk because, like you're about to cry.
Yeah.
So like, if you say one word, you're going to start crying. You know that moment? Like you're just borderline crying. You want to talk so bad, but if you just say, well, so I'm just like, and I had so much to say to defend myself, but I couldn't because I knew I'd cry. And at one moment, I finally had a moment where the tears took a break. And I said something funny and the gray guy laughed. And after he said, that was funny what you said, whatever. But they were trying to intimidate me to do my homework so I could, pass whatever. But they didn't do it in a good way. I didn't like how they did it. And they're like, yeah, well, you keep failing. You're going to have to, we're going to have to kick you out. And I was in SAB. I was already in the best school.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking if you kick me out, I'm already in the best ballet school. I found what I want to do for my job.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I already had that when I was rebellious. Like when I had that in my mind, I'm like, I was waiting. Like, and my mom was, on my side, and they're like, you could drop out. You could go to professional children's school. You could get your GED. Professional children's school is like a different school that went around your schedule.
Yeah.
Around like if you dance, they figure out your academics around it. Or you could get your GED. Like,
this is your mom saying this?
No, this is them.
Okay. Okay. But your mom was supportive of you or of them?
Me.
Okay. That's good. She had your back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like mom should be. Kind of. Yeah. Moms, unless they think you're just an absolute making the dumbest choice. But,
right. Yeah. Well, which was good. That's motivating for you at that time, right?
Yeah. So they said, I explained what a GED was, like trying to scare me. It's just a shitty test you take, and then you graduate and then you fail in life, whatever they're saying. I said, that sounds pretty good. I mean, I could just take it.
Listen, yeah. It's an alternative. Wait a minute.
Like graduate?
I could be done.
What am I in school for now? I was like, yeah, I like the GED idea. Like, no, we're not telling you to take it. We're just saying, no. Thanks for explaining that.
Yeah.
I said, Mom, I'm out. Let's go. Like, you really want to leave? I said, yeah, I'm going to take my GED. Let's get out of here. Like, okay. Awesome. You're like, no, we were trying to tell you. I'm like, bye. And that's how I dropped out.
Okay.
And I got my GED. I worked at a pool hall for a bunch of years before I didn't get my GED right away.
Okay.
What? So you were still going to SAB, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but then I got injured. Like I was not even 18 yet. I was 17. And then my injuries never got better until I was 20 and I quit ballet.
Oh.
So I kept trying to come back to class and I just kept my toe, my groin area, like my inner thigh, was tore it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't come back. So that was probably the most depressing year of my life when I was 20.
Okay. I was just about to ask you, how did that make you feel? You were doing something you really love and now your body's sort of, I describe it as betraying you. You know what I mean? Like that's how I would feel. So how was that for you? Depressing. What were you doing?
Very depressing. And because I returned to my angry kid persona kind of because, except a more mature level of depression, where I could really like be more depressed as an adult, right. Really understood my depression then.
Right.
But as a kid, I guess we figured out like, as a kid, I didn't really know I wasn't finding my true talent. I guess it was so built up inside me, like this frustration that I couldn't find that. And then I found it and I did it for years.
Yeah.
I was in ballet for technically 6 years.
Wow.
I used to go to the ballet every night, New York City Ballet. They would allow the students, and the manager of the theater had a big crush on me, this old guy.
Yeah.
So he'd always give me seats. He'd give me like whatever seats I wanted.
Nice.
So I'd like go out to dinner with him. So I owe him about 400 dinners because I never won. Yeah. So, but I got the best seats,
That's awesome. That must have been amazing.
Yeah. So it was a great, cultural experience.
So you get your GED, but you end up getting injured. You can't do ballet anymore. This is a negative time in your life.
First I found popping,
right,
which got me interested. I didn't really know I didn't look at it as like a future profession, but that went right into ballet. That's ballet. Boom. This is what I'm going to do. I found it. I knew what I wanted to be when I grow up when I was 14.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
I didn't know, usually you have to retire in your 30s and find something else, but I wasn't worried about that at that point.
Yeah. So now you're in this transition period because that has, it's gone away because, limitations physically.
Like your life is altered at this point. This is what you want to do. And now you're injured. You can't do it anymore. So
I have nothing now. In my mind, I'm nothing now, like, it's just like life is over at this point. And to top it off, I lost my virginity that year. I know it's late, 20 years old. but I lost my virginity.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I was scared to lose it in high school. I just felt like I was going to do a bad job, and then rumor would spread. But like after high school, you can flirt with 1 million women a day, and no one finds out that you're getting rejected all day, or you're like you. Right. And people think you're a stud because you're always with a different girl. They don't even know you got rejected by 10,000 women. But they see you with a beautiful girl. It's like I put the work in. You know.
Yeah.
Right.
The averages, it averaged out, right? You ran the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, look, I really lost my virginity. Well, I didn't really, but I lied and said I lost it at 16 to all my friends. To a counselor that was 22 at camp. I made up some whole story. I was teaching how to dance, and all of a sudden we just went at it, and boom. So now I didn't have to worry about my friends pressuring me to lose my virginity. I already lost it at 16. That was a lie.
Right.
Yeah.
20, I actually lost it.
Mm-hmm.
And right when I'm injured at that age, I fell in love with her, and she broke up with me to move to California. So it was a mixture of that and not knowing what I'm going to do with my life. It was,
that's hell.
Suicidal depression, but maybe.